The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. At that time, many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, while Mary sat in the house. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, he who is coming into the world." The Gospel of the Lord. Today, we celebrate Saint Martha. And she sometimes gets a little bit of a bad name because we often remember the story of Mary and Martha, where Mary took the better part, sitting at the feet of Jesus and listening to him while Martha was busy doing all the preparations for the meal. And she asks Jesus to kind of chastise Mary, to get her off her seating, out of her seating position and onto her legs and serving. And Jesus says, no, she's got the better part. But in this story, Martha seems to have the better part. So Mary is in the house, and in this stage of the story, nothing more is said about Mary. It's all about Martha. Shows the uniqueness of each one of us. Never look down on anyone, because as much as one may be praised in this moment, there's always a moment for others to be praised. And here we have a truly significant human struggle with life after death. Real struggle. Death. This week, we have heard that there are 5 deaths, probably COVID-related, in Shakers Kraal, just down the road. Another one, a relative from Shakers Kraal, but in the Eastern Cape. So death for us is coming closer and closer. So we have this sense of Martha understanding that this brother that she knew loved Jesus, and Jesus loved him as he loved her and her sister. They have an intimate relationship that he hasn't had, we don't see with other people. And so she goes out because she knows him, she's comfortable with him, and she says quite openly, "If you had been here, my brother would not have died." I wonder how Jesus must have felt at that moment. If you had been here. She was a fiery woman. She kind of maybe felt him a little bit, made him feel a little bit, "Oh Lord, Martha, you again." But look at the beauty of Martha's statement. So he goes on and he says, "Oh yes, your brother will rise again." And she says, "Yes, I know, at the resurrection day." And he says, "No, I am the resurrection." But this is important, that Martha, the busy one, now has the highlight of being the one who talks about resurrection. And she gives Jesus an opportunity to express that he is the resurrection and the life. And that's difficult to understand. It's difficult for you and I to understand. And it was certainly difficult for Martha. And in a sense, that is why he then went and raised Lazarus from the dead, so she could see, yes, okay, I have physical proof of what he said, the resurrection, that he has the power to raise people from the dead. Even though Lazarus would die once again, and he was now actually talking about the resurrection of all humankind, not just Lazarus, and not just the resurrection from this life, from the grave back to the life that we know, but resurrection and ascension into heaven. Martha, the busy one, who was chastised at some stage, now becomes the proclaimer of this incredible truth. Isn't that wonderful? You see, for Martha, as I suppose for many of us, we are given an inroad as how we can live our lives, our busy lives, in union with the truth of Jesus. She was a busy person. She ran out to meet him. She was one of those busybodies, maybe. Maybe she was the person who was always there, and we kind of say, oh, does that person ever pray? Does that person have a relationship with Jesus Christ? Because they're always so in everybody's face. Aha, be careful with judgment. Martha says, yes. Because everybody's journey to God is different. As soon as we start judging, we are the one being judged by God. So let's be careful. Here was a woman who had a profound relationship with Jesus Christ, even though she was totally different, not totally, but remarkably different to Mary. Mary was more the contemplative. Martha was the worker, but the thinker and deeply spiritually connected with God. I had a conversation with one of the formators just before this Mass, and she was explaining to me, because I have no personal experience of it, that at the moment with homeschooling, it's a totally different dynamic for parents. That their children are at home, and as much as they love that, it takes away a lot of the time that they would be able to do other things. So they are now quite overwhelmed with this work. So I want to reach out to all of you who are feeling overwhelmed. There's a message of God in this overwhelming situation, where the things you as mothers and fathers were able to do and can't do now, and you're maybe overwhelmed with homeschooling, entertaining your children because they can't go and see their friends. Look for the magic of God in what is happening. As Martha did, busy person. But somehow the Spirit could show her this incredible truth of the resurrection. Today, Martha shines. You shine. We shine. No matter the busyness or the lack of busyness in our lives. God bless you.